This is not a mountain bike. It's not much of a road bike either. This is my girlfriend's Moto Beacon road bike, and it's been sitting in a shed for months. Today, I'll attempt to restore this hunk of junk back to working order. Since I don't have much money, I'll try to make this as much of a budget build as possible. This will go to show that you don't need many things to get a bike running again. The first thing you're going to want to work on is the drivetrain. Scrub all the rust and grease off the cogs and chain, and the frame. This might take some time, so be patient. I use steel wool to remove most of the rust on the chain, paint, and the rims. I actually ended up overhauling the hubs and the headset on this bike. Yeah, you might not have to do this for every single bike, but it's pretty safe to do it if it's been sitting around for a long time, because it could get worn and the grease could be very sticky, so that's something to keep in mind. And I just used some generic grease. Any type of grease will really do. I also changed the seat on this bike since the stock one felt like sitting on Legos. I used the one that was on my Genesis V2100, which wasn't much of an upgrade, but was still way better than the stock one. This bike came with some very sticky handlebars. I think it was adhesive or something, and I used some Goo Gone to get rid of it, and that kind of did the trick, so yeah, you should try that out. The only thing that was left to change was the pedals for some standard plastic ones. The stock ones were way too rusty and the bearings were all shot, so I just changed it out for some plastic ones. A good thumb rule is to get some carb cleaner and clean the threads on the bike and on the new pedals. Do not blast any of this into the bearings. Face it downwards so that none of the bearings lose any grease or anything like that. And once you're done, just put some more grease back on the threads and stick it on your bike again. For any of the parts that had chip paint, you're going to want to put some paint back on. So I used some car paint on the parts where there was rust and just stopped right there. I didn't want to do much more for this bike, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. Now, all we got to do is hit the road. The steel frame does a good job of absorbing most of the small bumps on the road and makes for a comfortable ride. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys out in the trails.